I don't need to tell you there has been a major shift in the way we work because of the pandemic. Last month, 4.9 million Canadians did most of their work from home. That makes up almost 40% of the country's workforce. So while this new normal was introduced as a temporary measure, some companies, including Shopify and Twitter, are now making remote working permanent. Joining us now is the Chair of Strategy and Organizational Behavior, Tina Dason. Good to have you with us today.
Great. Thank you, Emery.
First of all, I want to talk about people's attitudes towards working from home and how it's changed since, let's say, around March until now.
So it's interesting. I think if we even go just a little bit before March, pre-pandemic, it was seen as something of a perk that was given to people. Mm-hmm. And in March, I think a lot of folks thought it was kind of cool and maybe even a little bit chaotic. And now when I talk to my colleagues, a lot of folks are saying, well, this is nice, but I wish I was back at work. I miss the engagement. I miss talking to my colleagues. So I'm not sure how sustainable it's going to be because I think attitudes are still evolving and we'll see how people feel 3 to 4 months from now.
What consideration do businesses need to take into account if they are going to go ahead and make this work from home shift permanent?
Right. So that's a really important question and something that I've been reflecting on a great deal. One of the things that I think is that businesses are going to have to think about how they set expectations between themselves and employees, because what's fundamentally changed is the employee's relationship to their work and to their workplace. So thinking about calibrating expectations, deliverables, thinking about how do we continue to have regular check-ins, make sure that there continues to be high levels of employee engagement, basically also addressing loss, because I think one of the things that people feel is that when they're at home, you lose a number of things. You lose your identity sometimes of who you are because you're now playing so many different roles. You lose the sense of mental and physical connection to work. And so I think employers now need to be concerned about the mental and physical well-being of their employees as well.
There are two groups of cost when we talk about working from home. One is the costs and how it affects business, and the other is the cost to individuals. Can you start with business?
Okay, so for business, I mean, they're still probably having to pay fixed costs for office towers and space and things like that. I think that's an emerging discussion that's happening now to see what businesses will do with that. The other costs, I think, that for employers to consider are things like safety of employees. So if employees do come back to work, how will they handle space and other types of benefits that are afforded? For employees, some of the costs I think that's going to happen is, do you have enough bandwidth at home? Who's going to bear the cost of that? Office furniture, chairs. Some costs are actually better for employees. The telecommuting or the commuting costs are lower now. And costs for clothing, dry cleaning, things like that. But those are pretty incidental. They're not huge. So I think we're gonna have to rethink costs across the board, both employers and employees.
Tina Dason, good to have your insight into this as we continue on our journey of working from home for so many of us. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.